the first thing I want to talk about is the Sotapanna. I think you have gone through it. Now, I don't know how much you will agree with Buddha itself. Okay, I have a doubt whether you agree with Buddha also. So the first sutta is Patipanna Sutta, which I've shared. It is in Samyutta Nikaya 48.18. Okay, this is for those people who don't believe they are Sotapanna or they cannot achieve Sotapanna in this life. Okay, so this is for all those people who feel achieving Sotapanna is not in this life. Whoever that
Is it 48.2? Is it
48.18?
18?
Yeah, this is for those people. Patipanna Sutta. Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sango. So, what is Patipanna is what Buddha is talking about. If you have doubt on this, we can't get Buddha back to tell you that you are in Patipanna. Okay. So if you hold such a wrong view that you are not going to be Sotapanna in this life, then nobody can help anyone, because the Sotapanna means that a person who is assured of not going to be born in apaya. So we need to understand two terms, paya and apaya. Paya means foundation, apaya means foundationless. That means if a person is immoral, and as soon as his punya, that is, we can say, good deeds are over, he can be reborn in any existence. He can be in the highest existence, he can be in the lower of the existence. Okay, and those people who have moral values and they don't do about killing someone like father or their own mother, or creating a schism in the Sangha, injuring a Buddha, or killing an Arhat like that, they will never be born in the apayas. So check with yourself whether you killed your father, whether you killed your mother, whether you've done anything like that. Okay, that's number one. And if you killed your father and mother, you can be 100% sure that no matter what you do, you will be reborn in apaya. Okay. Now, what is apaya? Paya is foundation, apaya is foundationless. What is a foundation? The foundation number one is morality. Starts with sila. Okay. So if you are following moral values, irrespective of whether you have come in touch with Buddha or not, you will be reborn in the heavenly realm or in the human realm. It need not be a Buddha follower at all. Okay. That means if the person is a Hindu or a Christian or a Muslim or a Jain, as long as a human being, Purisa, Puggala, any human who has been born as a human, if that person is moral, if I'm a devoted Christian or a devoted Muslim or a devoted Hindu or devoted Jain, and I'm following the moral conduct, then I will never be born in the lower existence. Okay. Now the question comes, why I should then follow the Buddha Dhamma? So that would be the next question. Why? For that, you need to know a particular term called as Ariya and Unariya. Yep. Ariya means re as in circling. So Buddha uses a term called as Vattam Vattati. Vatta means whirlpool. Vattati means circling. So samsarana, nissarana. He uses this many times as samsara. Okay. And samsara means circling around. So the Buddha Dhamma is the only Dhamma which tells you how to stop circling. It's not about where you will be reborn. That's not a question here. The question here is, can you stop rebirth? Okay. So when I come to the Buddha Dhamma, I'm not coming here to be reborn as a human or a deva or whatever it is. I'm here to stop rebirth process. Got the point? It's nothing to do with, should I follow moral value? Shouldn't I follow moral value? Will I be a Sotapanna in this life? Will I not be a Sotapanna in this life? All the scrap thing is of invalid. What is valid is, will you be able to stop rebirth? If we take any religion, they talk about heavenly existence. If I take Hindu Dharma, you can get into heaven. You can get into Brahma realm. To an extent that you can go to the Neva Sanya Na Sanya Ayatana, where it is Asankheya Kalpa. Okay, that means innumerable kalpa, then the person will never come back. Like in the case of Uddaka Ramaputta, okay, he will not have rebirth for millions and millions of years. It's as good as immortal because he doesn't have any rebirth. So if my objective is to get into the 8th jhana, then I don't really have to follow Buddha Dhamma. All that I need to do is to get into the yoga. Okay, then I can get into the 8th jhana, from which I can almost not come into the worldly existence for millions and millions of years. It's asankheya. At least in the terms of nothingness, the 7th one, akincha ayatana, it is 60,000 kalpa. And if I take the next lower, that is Vinyananchayatana, it is 40,000 kalpa. And if I come to the Akashanchayatana, that means if I die while doing Akashanchayatana, then I'm in 20,000 kalpa. That's good enough. Okay, but I'm not happy because I'm going to take a birth after that. I don't want to be having 20,000 kalpa or 40,000 kalpa, 80,000 kalpa, or whatever that kalpa is. I don't want. I want liberation. No existence in any realm, the highest to the lowest. If that is my idea, then I've come into Arya Magga. Riya is to circle, Arya is not circling. Unarya means not knowing how to stop circling. Okay? This is the basic tenet. It's got nothing to do with whether I'll be a Sotapanna or not. Clear? The first thing you need to know, Arya. Why are you coming into this magga or marga or the path is to stop rebirth. Nothing to do with Sotapanna. Now, if somebody has an opinion in this group or whoever is going to listen online that they can never be a Sotapanna in this life, maybe they should change their viewpoint. Because then if you don't believe the sutta also, it's an obstacle for you. In fact, you are going against Buddha's teaching. For the reason why you're following, you're going against it, which makes it papa kamma. That means you're going on sinful path, not on the rightful path. Because modesty is good, but then over modesty is not good because it will block your path. Meaning, if I'm a Sotapanna, I don't have to publish On the internet, I'm a Sotapanna, but I need to know I'm a Sotapanna. That's a minimum thing I need to know. Not having a doubt, not have to go and ask someone, some Bhante or some Thero or some Ajan or whatever it is, am I a Sotapanna? No, that's not what Buddha says. In fact, in DN 16, Mahaparinibbana Sutta, he says, I will teach you something which will make you know that you are a Sotapanna and you can declare if you wish to. It's not that it's a mandatory that you need to uh, declare it to people. If you want, you declare it. Doesn't want, you don't have to declare. What is that you need to be knowing is at the death moment, okay, you will, that means you means the consciousness will not get established in the apaya. Of four apayas, the lowest being hell realm, okay, then the next one is preta, then the next one is tiracha yoni, and the fourth one is asura, and the fifth is human, the sixth is Chatub Maharajaka. From then onwards, it is Deva realm. So the Manusa realm is called Manusa, Mana Ussa. There's a definition for that. There's another sutta, I'll take another day. What is meaning of Manusa? Mana Ussa. Yassa Mana Ussa is Manusa. One whose mind is expanded is Manusa. Okay. So when we look into that, my mind is expanded. What I mean by my mind is expanded? My mind is expanded to discern what should be done and what should not be done. So meaning to say, I can continue on the circling or I can disconnect circling. And in Buddha's dispensation, it is called as Yoniso Manasikara. That means I learn how to cut it, or Ayoniso Manasikara when I don't know how to cut it. Basically, let's say I marry, I have children, I have all that, and I believe that it is true, that I have a family, that is Ayoniso Manasikara. Whereas if it is something like, I know it is not true, it's just a conventional thing, not really having a family, then it is Yoniso Manasikara. So what Buddha Dhamma is of Yoniso Manasikara, not of Ayoniso Manasikara. Thoughtful discrimination or thoughtful reflection is Yoniso Manasikara. Unthoughtful reflection is Ayoniso Manasikara. And whenever they put a means negation, like ariya. Riya is circling, ariya is non-circling. Okay, so you need to know why are you doing a certain thing. Again, I'm repeating, it's got nothing to do with whether you believe you're Sotapanna or whether you believe you're not a Sotapanna. It's beyond it. It's one of the critical aspects that you need to know you're a Sotapanna. But if you keep on registering yourself that you will never be a Sotapanna, it's not an easy thing to do. It's blah, 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 all that. You are causing two problems for yourself. Number one, you're creating unnecessary hindrances, which makes sure that you will never progress. You'll have a human life for sure. That's guaranteed, but you will not progress. And number two is that you'll create sins for yourself. Okay. So the sutta why you need to take is that today you don't have Buddha to tell you that you are a Sotapanna. In fact, the drunkard one, what I have sent, he says very clearly, if sal trees can become Sotapanna, why this drunkard cannot? You understand? So now you check yourself. If a drunkard can be a Sotapanna, why on hell you cannot? Unless you keep on telling yourself, I'm not. Okay, that's a sutta what I've sent. Anyway, now coming back to this sutta on 48.18, patipanno, supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho. That's the first one. Okay, of sangha, and we are all in sangha. So when we say savaka sangho, it includes two people. One is bhikkhu bhikkhunis as recluse, and one is upasaka and upasika as the lay. Got it? Now, we are not bhikkhus, and none of you are bhikkhunis. So when we say savaka, it is shravaka in Sanskrit and savaka in Pali. What it means is that you are here to put effort. Which link? What link?
This sutta,
I've
you
already
are
sent
just
it. I've sent it
yeah,
in
in the group. Yeah, okay.
in the Australia group. You have everything, Raju.
Yeah, yeah.
It's only you have to open it up and read. It's like, I've given you tons of apples. You need to open the app box and eat it.
I've read it, but because I'm not that used to suttas reading, so
No
I'm
worries. So for that reason only, I'm taking this Sutta 48.18, which I have mentioned there. This is the starting Sutta, what we are going to take, called Patipanna Sutta, because that's the first in the Sangha. Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. If you have clicked on that, it will open up 48.18. If you please open it and keep it. Yes, Bobby.
Vilashi, in the 48.18, that Supatipan, the qualities of Buddha and all is not written, right? It is talking about the faith energy.
Why should he put Buddha's thing in a Sangha?
No. You are talking about the qualities of Buddha now, right?
No.
Sorry, Sangha. Sorry,
That
Sangha.
is why it is saying Patipanna Sutta, right? He's explaining
Okay.
what is Patipanna.
Yeah. Okay.
You will not
Okay.
find anything on the Buddha. We are on the
No,
Sangha.
he is like in the Sutta, it is saying about the five Indriyas. So that's why I'm
Yes, so
talking.
Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. The Sangha has Supatipanna. Now the question comes, what is Patipanna? And that is what he's explaining there. Okay. So basically, you require 5 faculties. So Bobby, you need to check out whether you have any one of them or none of them. If you say, I have none of them, you are a Putujana. Okay? If you have one of them, you are an Arya Savaka. Okay. Now, Bobby, I'll take you as an example. Please don't take me wrong. Okay. As far as I've seen staying at your house, you have even removed the cot. And you have made sure your wife and children sleep on the floor. And you have made sure that your children follow 8 precepts, and at the age of 4 and 8 or 6 and 8 or whatever that was, or 4 and 8, I think so, if I'm not wrong, and they've been doing whatever you're saying, and yet you have a doubt you are a Sotapanna, and that becomes a problem for you. Okay, so either you need to check out properly from this sutta whether you have a faculty or not. Okay, because that's what he's saying. If you read the last one, it says if one who doesn't have is a Puttujana, right? So please let me know, anyone here who have done so many of the retreats of Goenkaji, why did you go to so many retreats if you didn't have faith?
There is no question about faith, Vilaji. The thing is that the 5 precepts which Buddha says, in order for you to establish in Dhamma, you need to have a seal, samadhi, prajna. And when it comes to the seal, many times we break the sila unknowingly, and later we realize, oh, I broke the sila. And by breaking the sila, how can we become Sila will support Samadhi, and Samadhi will support Panya. Without having these three, at least we established somewhat. How can we? I'm not talking about Bobby, but myself. I feel that too far away.
Even I am. Even I am. Bobby is one person who has gone beyond Sotapanna. Now, in my case, I'm not even a Sotapanna. Let's say, how can I know I'm a Sotapanna? Okay. So, Raju, I'll tell you one thing. When you break the precept, you'll fix the precept. There are a lot of suttas which Buddha says, a Arya Savaka is one who knows that he has broken the precept and he will feel for it because he has Hiri and Ottappa. Hiri is moral shame, Ottappa is moral dread. So you will not do 5 things. Okay. Number 1, will you intentionally kill anyone or anything? Please check. Will you have an affair with another woman when your wife is sitting next to you?
Even she is not with me, I will not have it.
So you are answering now questions, right? Now you will not, right? But I expect you to have an affair. Okay. She is looking, aged. I think you should have a replacement. When we have laptop replacements and all kind of replacement, I think we also need to have wife replacement or husband replacement. It's tired, we keep on fighting with the same wife and same husband. It's boring actually.
Change.
Yeah, we need to change. Actually, we change furnitures and everything after 10 years and fridge and other things in 15 years. Why we can't change husband and wife?
That's where the Buddha's teaching comes into the place.
Exactly. So you will not change.
We know once you go deep and you understand that we should not do that, you will never think of doing it.
Exactly. And there's a major problem, Raju. Maintenance cost is too high.
That's a different point.
Yeah. So you can't afford it. See, you have to escape from your wife. You have to escape from the new girlfriend. Someday or the other, they both will come to know. Okay. And in my case, I don't even have hairs. If both were to hit me on the head, I will not survive. So considering this problem, I will not have. Clear?
If you would have so much of money, then will you consider it?
No. Because the cost of maintenance is too high. In fact, the
when you say cost, you're talking about the financial cost, you're talking about the
all kind of costs. See, once you have a wife or husband, that's it. You can't escape it. There will be something or the other coming up and you need to take care of it.
That's right.
Right? So it can be emotional cost, it can be financial cost. Right? So I don't think so anyone having their wife or husband would ever say they didn't have emotional problems, nor they have financial problems. They will have both. So that doesn't mean that I'm going to change my wife. Not possible. So that's the first thing. Then, can I steal? See, Shaniel is having Mercedes Benz. And I love to drive Mercedes Benz. And he says it's my ex-wife's. So can I just take his car and go away? I can. But the maintenance cost of that is pretty high. Because I need to ensure nobody sees it, whatever I've stolen. Right? So everything has a maintenance cost. That means I have to maintain that item what I've stolen. It can be an iPhone, it can be a computer, it can be someone or something, whatever it is, the stolen object needs to be protected more than anything else. So I wouldn't do that for sure. Okay. Then comes lying. Maybe here I might face a problem. If I'm working in an organization, maybe sometimes I might have to say something without really, even though morally it is not okay, pinching, but I feel sad, but I might do it. But I feel regretful out of it. That's sufficient. because you don't have an intent in doing it. You please understand. Chetana aham bhikkave kammam vadami. Intention is the cause of kamma or karma or deeds, right? If you agree to that, you have no intent, but you've been asked to say so. So you will say so, but you have no intention. Without intention, you're not breaking a precept. Got it? Now you have children. You can't, if the child is not studying or doing something or wasting time, you have to shout at that child. So you're going to do so. You are not going to say, no problem. You can spend, because I'm following Buddha Dhamma, right? So I will not shout on the child. I will. I'll at least show my, dissatisfaction or whatever the child is doing, or even the wife is doing, or the brother, sister, whatever it is doing, because they are supposed to do what they're supposed to do. But I don't have an ill intention of doing so. I have intention of helping them, but it seems like a harsh speech, but I'm really not doing harsh speech as a harsh speech. I don't have bad intention. Then I don't slander, nor I do time pass after I get into the Buddha Dhamma of talking some nonsense things. Okay. So if I see like that, and I'm not drinking, if I was drinking, I'll quit drinking. So I've taken care of the 5 precepts, right? So the only precept which seems I might be breaking is lying, meaning not intentionally lying. I might be lying for the sake of the job or whatever I'm doing. I think that's the only thing I would be doing. Than really having an intention of, that means I intend to lie. I want to lie. That is what is breaking the precept. I want to have sexual intercourse with someone other than my wife. That's again an intention. I want to steal. That's an intention. I want to kill. That's an intention. I want to drink. That's an intention. If I don't have any one of those intention per se, I mean, I'm not breaking any seal. Yes, Raju, go ahead.
Even though we don't have that intention now after passing through the vipassana practice and dhamma. But what happens, because in this life as well as in the previous life, we have been used to lying, we have used to stealing. When I say stealing, it's not like we are so much used to that. Even though it was not given to you, you take it. If it is kept next to you, you think it's mine, you take it. The I consider that as also breaking a Sheila, and sometimes I don't realize it. Then later on, I shouldn't have done that. So these kind of so many things, because right from the childhood you keep doing it, considering oh this is a normal. And sometimes even when you talk to someone, you are not mindful of talking, and you talk something which you are not supposed to. And also sometimes you I would not say intentionally, but because you're doing whole your life, saying something bad about someone, like a backbiting. So to to purify, to be perfect in Shila, I struggle in these kind of things. I just keep thinking, how should I be more mindful and see not to repeat those kind of things.
You just now answered your own question.
Mm.
A normal person wouldn't think like this.
Mm.
He wouldn't think, how should I correct it? He will try to prove what he did is right.
Mm.
Let's say he told lies. He say, yeah, that's my profession. I need to tell lies. What the hell?
Mm.
He intends to tell lies, and he justifies why he told lies. Right? He intends to change his partner, that is his female partner or male partner, and then he justifies why that change. That lady, she is such a bad woman in my life. You think I should be with her? I will change my partner. Right? Will I wait for something to be given to me? No. I will steal. So what? Not stealing as a stealing of some item, even stealing as putting my name in the email when I'm sending my team members that they have done very good deeds, blah, blah, all that. And then I put my name, because of I was able to show them the way and blah, blah, all that. This team has performed. Otherwise, it couldn't have performed. That's still stealing. Or copyright, I'm stealing from someplace, or I'm putting, let's say if I'm doing PhD, the guides, they ask to put their name in that, even though they have not done anything about it. That's stealing. And do they regret what they have done? No. Right? Why? Only in Buddha Dhamma you will have Hiri and Ottappa. Hiri means moral shame and Ottappa means moral dread. So you will know that you don't want to do it. Even though you do it, it hits you badly to an extent that you'll call that person saying that, hey, you know what, I told like this, please don't take it wrong, because you will not sleep. Got it? And that happens. So that is when you can see whether you have faith. This faith as a faculty. Please understand, it's a faith as a faculty, not faith as a Buddha Dhamma faith. Faith as a faculty, Indriya. Okay. So what Buddha is saying there in that sutta is, if all the five are perfected, is an arhat. One of them is lesser, is a anagami. One of them lesser is a sakadagami. One of them lesser is a sotapanna. One of them lesser is just on the path. But still, he will become Sotapanna if he has not become. If he is a Sotapanna, if he has had three of his faculties matured and two faculties are not matured, he will before dying become Sakadagami. If four of them are matured and one of them is not matured, he will be reborn as an Anagami before death. So there is another sutta where Buddha says he jumps. There is about jumping. So you jump the line. So at landing, he becomes an anagami upon landing. Okay. Then, if all the five faculties are intact, is an arhat. Okay. So this is the first sutta I need to know on patipanna. Pati means bonding. Panna means panya, wisdom. Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sango. So when we are saying we are followers of the Buddha teaching or the Dhamma of the Buddha, it means that you understand there are five faculties. And you wouldn't have been doing so many retreats in Goenka tradition or any tradition, or going into so many monasteries, or staying like Bobby stays in many monasteries. He meets so many monks. And along with that, the two children with Merin, they do it. I don't think so any other person I have seen coming from a different religion would do so much. Bobby is indeed pretty fortunate to have such a wife who supports it and two children. They might not be doing as much as what Bobby thinks, because Bobby's measurement criteria is totally different. If I was wife of Bobby, I would have resigned and left. But now I can't do that. So I appreciate Merin and the two children for accepting whatever Bobby is saying. Okay, very
Too expensive, Vilasji.
pardon.
Too expensive as well.
Too expensive, yes. Yeah, so I really appreciate all the three of them with deep regard and gratitude, okay, for having such a person who is mad about Buddha Dhamma, okay. And I couldn't find any perfect madness person than Bobby so far. And staying with him showed me how not mad I am and how mad he is, okay. So that gives me more confidence that I should have been more mad than him, which I was some years ago, but now I'm not mad enough. Like he's in love with Buddha Dhamma Sangha. So that is how the faith faculty works. So the thing what he has is faith and virya, that is effort, are pretty strong. The other three are undeveloped. So he cannot get into Sakadagami no matter what he does, unless he agrees to himself that he is indeed having Saddha faculty and virya. The moment he knows he has done that, he can work towards one another faculty, which is sati, which is missing in him. Okay, he needs to do that. The reason why I took this sutta is to make him aware, because I'm staying with him and we can see each person. And Raju, I don't know about you, neither I know much of Shenial or Ashutosh is a new entrant, nor I know anything about the Viren, because I've not spent time with they both. And also I've not spent time with you as much I've spent time with Janak and Bobby. Okay, so please excuse me for not telling you where you are and what you are, but if you believe Buddha teaching, don't believe me. Go to this sutta and understand there are 5 aggregates, 5 faculties, indriyas, and in the case of Bobby, it's quite evident he has saddha and he has virya. And not only that, he makes so much of effort on his wife and 2 children. Whether they like it, like to dislike it, dislike to like it, I don't know, whichever combination it works, he will make their life miserable and make sure that they are doing it. Okay. One day I told him, don't do this 5 o'clock thing. He was so upset. Oh, you don't know Vilas ji, you don't understand. And then I was just looking at his restlessness. I wanted that restlessness to come out because sati is not there. His mindfulness is yet to develop. If he develops mindfulness, he would complete till anagami without any issues. But it's up to him how he can relax himself, because I have told him enough to relax, but he seems to be not clear that he has ever done Sotapanna. So I have given him 51 suttas, which he is reading now, to reassure himself that he is indeed become Sotapanna, which I can't do anything beyond this. Right? So I will end with that about Bobby. Otherwise, it becomes like I've called all of you to talk about Bobby, which is not a good thing to do. Just wanted to give an example. Okay. So he's a nice person, very dedicated, okay, and very honest, very simple in his things, simplistic living. Okay, everything is going good. I don't see anything as a flaw. He's in fact applied whatever is mentioned in the sutta exactly to that. Okay, it's very nice. I'm very appreciative of his way he's seeing. And also the other 3 people who are in the background who have supported him for these many number of years. Yes, Viren.
Yeah, I wanted to know, like you said, if you have first 2 faculties developed, which is Shraddha and Virya, what about after that? If you not good at maybe on mindfulness, not that strong, but if you can work on the samadhi, which is the concentration, or it has to be in the sequence?
No,
Because
no, it's not like that. So once
no, no.
sati starts, see, it's like this. Good question, Viren. It's like this. Once your sati starts, so chattaro satipatthana happens, and immediately sammapadana happens. Chattaro sammapadana. Then you have the iddipada, chattaro iddipada, pancha bala, pancha indriya, pancha bala, Satta Bojjhanga, Arya Tangika Magga happening in a sequence. That doesn't mean that Bobby doesn't have sati. He has, but not to the level what he has saddha. So if I could put in a list of that, Saddha is top notch. Okay, there's nothing more to Saddha. Even if Buddha would have been there, he would have said, boss, enough. I appreciate you. Okay. But Virya is too much. Too much energy will make him restless. That's the reason his Samadhi Indriya is not coming up. It's too much of effort. He has to reduce the effort. It's too much effort. Okay. And when you put too much effort, the tiredness happens on the mind, that is torpor, which is midha. He has too much of midha. And because of that, sloth happens, which is thina in Pali, thina midha, sloth and torpor. So the body sluggishness causes the mental sluggishness to happen because too much of effort creates non-samadhi state, and then that becomes a hindrance on the sloth and torpor. So he gets into sloth and torpor because of restlessness, because there's no energy left. He's put so much energy. And because of that, there can't be any panya. Yes.
My wife also has one question, but before that, I'll shoot my question.
Yes.
Regarding the Virya, I think I consider when putting effort, Bobby knows I also put a lot of effort. But what happens when it comes to Thin Midda, even though you have a proper sleep, but when it comes to the meditation, you sit down and meditate, you fall asleep.
Yes.
And with me, what it happens, I try to. That's why I said last time when I met, I said I wanted to discuss with you about 5 hindrances. I tried to read the Mahamoggalana story as well, how he has been impacted of Thin Midda. And same thing happens with me. Even I had a good sleep and I sit down for the meditation, I fall asleep. Sometimes what I do to fight with it, I just change my position, still I fall asleep. Then I sit down on my knee and try to meditate, then also I fall asleep. Then I get up and walk, put some water on the face and come back, again I fall asleep. So that's why I wanted to discuss with you when we have a time next time. How do you fight these kind of things?
Yes, we're definitely going to do that because I too had the same problem. So I found a solution anyway. So we'll take that later. But I'm just saying, in anybody's case, if you put too much of effort, no samadhi, and because of that tiredness happens, so thina mida happens, then you get irritated, which means you have vyapada, then ultimately kamachanda takes over. So nothing is going to work. But yet, you are a Sotapanna.
But how do we know whether I'm putting too much effort?
You will come to see, because like I've seen Bobby pushes. The way he's pushing himself shows that that amount of restlessness is equal to the effort. So they both go together. So sometime you just have to relax it off. It's okay. Just relax.
So doing too much of meditation, doing too much of like
Anything too much. See, Buddha uses one in another sutta. He says Veena. Okay, if you tighten the string, it breaks. If you loosen the string, nothing will come. Right? So your virya is something like that. If you too much tighten it, I should get it, then you are getting only frustrated in life. Or if you are just leaving it, nothing is going to happen.
So that person will not be able to know that he or she is putting too much of effort or
No,
too
they
much
won't know. So that's the reason.
somebody else
What?
has to.
Yeah. What should happen is they should. I've told him also. If they have to evaluate, they have to just relax a bit. It's okay. They have to say to themselves, it's okay. It's fine. There's nothing you're going to lose. The first problem is that I don't know whether I am a Sotapanna or not. And that's the reason sutta is more important than what I'm doing. I might have learned some tradition like Thai tradition or Sri Lankan tradition or this Burmese tradition or some other tradition. Tradition is not Buddha Dhamma. tradition is tradition, Buddha Dhamma is Buddha Dhamma. Even though tradition talks about Buddha Dhamma, they might not take everything of Buddha Dhamma. So when we really look at Buddha Dhamma, we need to see tradition is fine, agreed, but there's much more to it. It's not one thing only, getting caught in one thing. That might not really work. So we need to see, okay, Buddha says this way. So let's try, because in many, many ways, Buddha explains, if you do have this problem, do this way. If you have this problem, do this way. Like Mogga Mahamoggalana Sutta, what he's saying. Yeah, there's another sutta where Buddha says, just relax, just take a break. That's also is there, because that person, that bhikkhu is putting so much effort. He says that's not the way to do it. You can't challenge yourself that in the next 7 days I'll become an arhat. He says, not going to happen. Okay. Then he asks, when will it going to happen? When you stop challenging yourself, it is going to happen. Just leave it. Okay. So we need to know our own thing. It's not about what anybody says. We each have a different faculties, right? So what faculty, let us say Sheniel has or Bobby has, I might not have. What Janak has, I might not have. Or what Ashutosh have, I might not have. Otherwise, I would have been by now Arhat if everything was there. So there's another sutta called Yuganda Sutta. Okay, that talks about how to balance the faculties. We'll go to that later. We don't have to do it today necessarily. But the first thing I wanted to talk to you about is this sutta, where you know for what reason you are doing Buddha Dhamma and for what reason you are not doing Buddha Dhamma. You are doing Buddha Dhamma to end the journey, and you are not doing Buddha Dhamma because you wanted to be a Sotapanna. But yet, that is a pointer, that is your milestone, and you need to reach that milestone. So how do you reach the milestone? You reach the milestone if you have understood the 5 faculties, and if you have one or more of the 5 faculties. In the case of Bobby, I see 2. In the case of at least Raju, to the extent I have seen him, okay, that day, is that he has Shraddha. I have not seen him how much energy he's putting. I think it will be similar to what Bobby is putting, so the virya would be there. But if he's too much putting virya, he will sleep. So he has to reduce, because the energy goes down. I've personally experienced that energy goes down. You can't have any energy left. So you feel always tired. I'm bodily tired, mentally tired. Yes.
Vilaji, in my personal case, when I meditate, I feel more energetic. So because I put more time on meditation, I feel like having more energy, and I feel like I don't need much sleep.
Okay.
So that's why, for my selfishness, my own benefit, I try to see if I have any time. Instead of wasting that time, I should meditate.
Okay.
Or read some Dhamma related
Sure.
text.
That's the right thing. We need to incorporate walking, meditation, and all of that. So it becomes an 18 hours load of meditation rather than just sitting meditation.
One more question, Vilashi, I have.
Yes, go ahead.
See, because all these suttas were used to be recited during the Buddha's time, and now it has been over 2,500 years since those Buddhas, were recited initially, recited by Buddha, and so many people have written suttas based on their own interpretation, and many of them, they don't even do meditation and they just write the suttas. So I always try to find whoever has written the suttas, whether he is really meditating it or not. Try to find, and it's not that easy to get. That's why I look at the suttas with question mark always. So how do we um, believe in those? Actually, there is no question about faith on Buddha Dhamma, but only when it comes to, because so many people have written who has, in the traditional way, people become a monk, like in Sri Lanka, in Thai, and Tibet, those places. It's the tradition, like a religion. they follow it. But when it comes to the real meditation, only few people do it, even in the monks as well. So how do we rely that which suttas we should is written by the monk who meditates?
Okay, now good, very nice question. I think I would have asked this as my first question. How do I know the suttas are real? Okay, nice one. So
The suttas are real, but the interpretation of those suttas.
that is exactly what I wanted to come back to. The interpretation are somebody's, but
Yes.
I am asking you to look at the sutta. I'm not asking you to look at the commentary or interpretation. In fact, Buddha Ghosa's commentary doesn't fall in line with suttas. But then Burmese tradition uses it. All Burmese tradition, including Goenka. Then Thai tradition don't use it. Okay, whereas the Sri Lankan tradition uses it. Okay, so out of the Theravada countries, the maximum amount of the Visuddhimagga is used by Burmese. If you take Pa-Auk tradition, Ledi Sayadaw or any Sayadaw, Mahisi Sayadaw, whatever Sayadaws are there, from where all of that has happened in Burma, the entire Burmese thing is on Visuddhimagga. Okay, and Visuddhimagga is a commentary, it's not sutta. And Buddha Ghosa has written commentary on Majjhima Nikaya, Sanyukta Nikaya, all the Nikayas, all the suttas he has written. Okay, and that is a Bible, in fact, for Theravada countries. Okay, so Abhidhamma, if I were to take, Goenka technique is heavily on Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma is an addition on the fourth Buddhist council. How can you take it to be real? It's not by Buddha. In Buddha's lifetime, he never spoke about Abhidhamma. Then why am I taking Abhidhamma? Why am I going with 121 chittas and all of that? That's
This was a news for us. I mean, we were not aware these things.
yeah,
Now
it is not. It is actually only Dvipitika. If you look at the first Buddhist council, and if you look at the Mahakassapa who take over from Buddha, he just says to Ananda, Ananda, you are the person who are the witness to what Buddha said. You talk about all the suttas. So he tells 84,000 suttas. Okay. And then there is Upali, who is an Arhat. Okay. He is a barber by profession, but he's an Arhat. And he is tasked with Vinaya. So until the third Buddhist council, which is when Ashoka comes, and in the fourth Buddhist council, they formulate the entire Abhidhamma. And from fourth Buddhist council onwards, it is Tipitaka. Otherwise, it is Dvipitaka, two Pitakas, two baskets. So, if you were to be following Burmese technique, you are following Abhidhamma and Visuddhimagga. You are not following any sutta at all. Now, how do you comprehend then? Because the entire thing what you're learning in Goenkaji's technique is Abhidhamma. And in the 10 days course, he recites Patana Dhamma, which is part of Abhidhamma. He talks about Hetu and all that. That has got nothing to do with Buddha Dhamma.
then in this case, Vinaya Pitaka, Dvipitaka, Vinaya Pitaka and
Sutta Pitaka.
Suttaka Pitaka. Is there any meditation where Buddha talks about in those suttas they talk about meditation? Because
Yes.
the Abhidhamma is the only way they've explained the practice part, more of a practice part into Abhidhamma.
No, it is, if you go to Visuddhimagga, in that the subsection, section 10, under that subsection 14 talks about this, what you are doing, whatever you are doing in Vipassana as what Burmese follow. But in the sutta, Buddha talks about Samatha and Vipassana together. Okay, so there is a difference. So if we were to, I can one day show you all the differences between that. Okay, there is difference. There's a huge difference, not just a difference. Okay, now beyond the point, just to take you the point here is, don't have any idea on Buddha Dhamma. The starting place for me would be Vipassana of Goenka or Ubakin or Pa-ok tradition or whatever tradition in Burmese is, because at least it gives me an opportunity to sit for long period of time. Okay, what Buddha talks is about 4 postures. He doesn't talk about only sitting and meditating. Okay, there's a huge difference. What Buddha says is that is there in the Anapanasati Sutta. It's not Anapana of Goenka or Ubakin. Anapanasati is totally different than Anapana of Goenka. If you go one by one, you will find there's huge difference
Isn't
between.
it a part of Satipatthana Sutta?
No, if you see, there's a difference in the what is indicated in the Satipatthana and in MN 118, which talks about Anapanasati Sutta. And to understand what Buddha talks in Anapanasati Sutta, you have to go to Anapanasati Katha, where Sariputta explains how it should be done. So first you have to practice as per what Sariputta says. And then you have to come to MN 118, which is Anapanasati Sutta. And as a, what I can say, summary, it is Satipatthana Sutta. So you got the point. So it's a difference. So what we do in the 10-day course and make it a 3.5 days of Anapana is only observation of breath touching the nostril and sitting meditation. What about standing? What about the other 5 sense doors? That's not at all spoken about. Eye sense door, ear sense door, nose sense door, tongue sense door. You're only looking at the body sensation. What about the other 5? In fact, Ubakin says that we don't explain this because we found the body technique as the best technique, and we have left the other 5 to to be done by the person themselves later, because that is, you can do it through all of them. It is advised to do all of them, but we practice body. I'll send you that snippet itself where Ubakin clarifies to a question. Okay, and that is true, because you don't have to do all the 5, all the 6 of them. I'm a starting person, I can't understand, so it's better to look at body sensation. That's fine, and you have to sit and do it, because then only you can understand what's happening in the body. But that's not what Buddha talks about. I'm not trying to say that it is entirely wrong. I'm saying that that's a foundation. It's required. When I start, since I don't know anything, it's better to have some foundation, and the best foundation is in Burmese technique, not in Thai technique, because Thai doesn't have any kind of meditation practice, because they follow the concept of you just observe what's happening and take 2 things. One is morality, which means hiri ottappa, to ensure that you are not doing any wrong in the sila. And when it comes to samadhi, observe what is happening within you. When you see, when you hear, when you taste, when you touch, when you smell, which is what Buddha also talks about 6 sense doors. Okay, so that is what the Thai talks about. They don't talk much about anything about what the Burmese do. When it comes to Sri Lanka, they talk about desana, because the Sotapanna is from 2 words, Sota at apanna. Sota means ear, hearing. Apanna means one who has come. So for becoming a Sotapanna, you don't require to sit like this. You just have to understand the Dhamma. Okay. So once you understand the Dhamma, then your journey starts. So the basic thing is start the journey. So just like I join a kindergarten. Okay. For that, I don't require a PhD level syllabus. I just require a small thing about why I should go to the school. So from a Puttujana, which is childlike person, I'm coming into a thing called as Buddha Dhamma. So what I should know? I should know morality. Yes, have morality. I should have faith in Buddha, because when by being moral, I know I'm not going to suffer. By not being moral, I know I'm going to suffer. That's simple as that. There's nothing else to be done there. And what is Dhamma? Dhamma is the nature of things. Anything has a nature. So you can see that if something is arising, that very thing passes away. For that, I don't have to sit and look at the body sensation. Can't I see sunrise? Can't I see sunset? That's all what it is. And Buddha uses beautiful word, Udayanga, Attanga. Udayanga means sunrise. Attanga means sunset. For that, why should you sit for 10 hours, 20 hours? You tell me that. That's not required. If you want to mature into a Sakadagami, Anagami, Arhat, yes, you need to do that. Absolutely true. You need to pursue. But for Sotapanna, you don't have to. You need to know this happens, this happens. So what he says, in fact, in that, I was just putting it to Janak, in the Dhammachakka Pavattana Sutta, okay, there's only one phrase. It says, Yam kinchi samudaya dhammam, sabbam tam nirodha dhammam iti. What it means? If anything arises, anything at all, wife arises, husband arises, child arises, house arises, car arises, road arises, country arises, whatever arises, river arises, it fades away, it goes away. Sabbam tam nirodha dhammam. Isn't it true that you are going to lose your wife? You're going to lose your parents. You're going to lose your children. You're going to lose the place you're staying. You're going to lose your car. You're going to lose everything, whatever you think you had. That's the truth. So you can't cut birth and death cycle by believing that I'm going to be born, but I shouldn't be dying, or my object shouldn't be dying. They will go, and you don't have any hold on them, and hence it is anatta. So in the Anatta Lakkana Sutta, Buddha explains how you should see anatta. Any item, you can't hold it because it goes away by itself. No matter whether you agree or disagree, it goes away. And you don't know when it is going to go away. So he asked the question, can you hold on to the rupa the way you want it? No. Can you hold on to the feeling? I mean, I don't use the word sensation, which is used in the Burmese technique. Just the feeling, raw feeling. What is a feeling? I feel this is happiness. I feel this is unhappiness. I'm not feeling anything, right? So let's say, Raju, I meet you. What do I feel? Nothing, because I'm meeting for the first time. After we start meeting again and again and again, that will change. So can I hold my neutral feeling which I had before I'm meeting you? No. Right? So basically, I can see it changes. That means nothing stays the way I want it to stay. I meet my wife. One time I like my wife. Another time I don't like my wife. That's the truth. What I can do about it? Nothing can be done. No matter what I think I will be doing. Doesn't matter. It can't be held. So feeling cannot be held. Perception. You see this. Whatever perception I hold, the country is good. After some time, the country is bad. The city is good. After the city is bad. If I hold my office, it's good to work. That's a perception, but it goes bad. What I can do about it? I can change my job. Like Raju, you are a database administrator. Have you not seen every database has a problem, irrespective of with whom you buy?
Absolutely.
So what can you do? Nothing you can do. You buy SQL, you have a problem. You have an open source, you have a problem. You buy something else, you have a problem. You buy Oracle database, you have a problem. You buy
Different problem.
MySQL, you have a problem. Right? There are bugs in the system. What I can do? And I was a database administrator, so I know the schema, I know all of that, but then what I can do? I can't do anything, right? No matter how much I try. So my job is required by the organization is because it doesn't work. So they have hired me because it doesn't work. If it was working, my job was not required at all. Right? So why they should pay me if everything works? Since it doesn't work, I am required. So my job is to find a solution, but can I make sure it never fails? Impossible. So hence it is called anatta. There is no personality, not atta as a atma. It's atta as a personality. Can you call yourself as a database administrator while at your home?
No.
Can you tell your wife, you know what, I'm a database administrator?
So what?
Yeah, so what? And can Marin say to Bobby, you know what, Bobby, I'm a midwife? So, what do you mean so? I'm a midwife. So, he is going to say, you might be midwife or whichever wife in hospital, but for me, you are my wife. Right? That's the perception. But it changes. When she goes to the hospital, she can't say, I'm wife of so and so, even though the wife remains the same. What is mid? That means there should be something starting wife, midwife, ending wife, right? What is this mid means? Where is the mid? I name something and she takes it as I'm the midwife. And when she comes home, she drops the midwife. That means her personality of midwife is gone or not? Yes. When she goes to the hospital, will she remain as a wife, even though it says wife? Then the hospital is going to ask her, whose wife are you? She can't show a doctor saying that, I am his wife. They say, have you gone mad? Then she says, no, now I remember, I am wife of Bobby. Right? So it's just a perception. If you have a perception, can you now intend anything as yours? No. No matter what you intend, it doesn't work. If she comes home and says, I'm midwife, it doesn't work because there's even the intention is midwife. When she comes home, there's no midwife. And when she goes back to work, she has to pretend to be a midwife. So what's the consciousness? When you go to the hospital, she consciously experiences midwife. Meaning she's supposed to remove the baby, do everything for that mother and come back. Will she do the same thing at the house? No. She puts on a role of a wife and she starts feeling I'm the wife. So there's no person, there's no personality, and hence it is anatta. So this is the meditation of vipassana of the Buddha. Got it? And all the suttas talk the same. Whether it's the Anguttara Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya, Sanyukta Nikaya, Kuddaka Nikaya, whatever Nikayas you're going to take it, or Dika Nikaya, it would be the same. The methodology is the same. It depends on which faculty are you looking at. Are you looking at the Saddha as a faculty, or a Virya, or Sati, or Samadhi, or Panya? So we have 5 Nikayas and 5 way of seeing. And that's the reason I took the Patipanna Sutta, to make you clear that that's the starting point. Okay, so we need to understand from there. So your question is that what is the guarantee the commentaries are right? None of the commentaries right. And in fact, if you're following Burmese, it is completely commentary oriented and completely Abhidhamma oriented, where the sutta not all there. So how will I believe them?
Yes.
Now you have to question yourself.
Yeah. How can I? I wanted to be able to read and understand the suttas and interpret in my own way based on my meditation experiences and
Yes.
the reading and understanding. So
Yes, it's possible. It's possible. So first we have to understand one thing is that there are 2 ways of attaining Sotapanna. One is through Saddha, which is faith, and another one is through wisdom, okay, which is the Panya. That means you understand the Dhamma, that is the Panya path, and one is the Saddha path. So there are two paths to get into a Sotapanna. The Panya path is understanding five aggregates. The Saddha path is understanding the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, having faith in Buddha Dhamma Sangha through Sila. And hence, many suttas, not one, many suttas, just say a Sotapanna is one who has experiential faith. Now I'll just tell you avicca pasada. Pasada means serenity, pasada means confidence, pasada means knowing, and avicca means unshakable. So you have an unshakable, say, confidence, just to use that word, confidence, in Buddha, because you've understood what is Buddha, then you've understood the Dhamma, you've understood the Sangha. So the first thing you need to understand is who is Patipanna. So I've explained to you the five faculties being there is Patipanna. Now, Raju, you have to ask yourself, do you have faith? And if the answer is yes, just be there. Don't worry about anything, because that's what the sutta says. Why? Because the more you worry, the worse it gets. Okay, now why should you refer to the sutta? I will tell you. Is because if you want to know you're somewhere, you can only do through sutta. You can't rely on anyone, including me. I need to know for myself. I can't rely on anyone, so to say. And that means somebody is going to give me a certificate of merit. That's not going to happen. You understand? So if I've done something, I have literally done it. I know it, how it works. So let's say here is Janak and that is Bobby. Let's say Bobby has sponsored for this tour and nothing comes out of this tour. Okay, he is going to feel dejected, because I am saying I have reached a better destination, whereas Bobby might feel, I don't know what kind of person came, right? You can ask him later. It's not fair to ask when I am around. After I depart from this place, it will be a good time to talk behind my back. So that would become something like, yes, go ahead.
You will not talk behind.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, I think you have to trigger. You have to trigger.
Yeah, and another thing, we haven't met anyone who has such knowledge of suttas and the Pali language as of now. You are the first one with whom we met it, who has so much of knowledge, you can explain so well.
Okay, fine. So here is Janak. So the thing is, why I'm saying that is that saying is one thing, doing is another thing. You need to understand one thing. This is for all. A Sotapanna can make another Sotapanna, but cannot make Sakadagami or Anagami and Arhat. Is there another sutta, which we will take it another day, another time frame, okay? A Sakadagami can make anyone Sotapanna, and also a Sakadagami, but cannot make an Anagami and Arhat. An Anagami can make anyone a Sotapanna and a Sakadagami and an Anagami, but cannot make an Arhat. An Arhat can make anyone a Sotapanna, a Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arhat. Okay. So today, where we stand, you need to know where do we stand, is unshakable confidence. If somebody has, he's called as Kalyana Mitra in Pali, Kalyana Mitra in Sanskrit, or a spiritual friend or a Dhamma friend, whatever you can call that as. Okay. And when you meet that Dhamma friend, you would know that you can get something out of that person. Not just because you have been told so, or you believe to be so, or you think to be so, it works. Example, if I'm a Sotapanna, I can't be able to explain to you how to get into Sakadagami. I can't be able to tell you how to enter into 8 jhanas as an Anagami. It's impossible because I have myself not done, so it is no point in telling you how you can do the 4 Rupa jhanas and 4 Arupa jhanas. It's not possible. It would be a waste of time and it will be only theoretical. Whatever is there in Sutta, I'll be reading it out. Nothing can be experienced at all. Even the first jhana cannot be experienced. Forget about the second and third and fourth and all those jhanas. Okay, this is a thing what I need to know. If I'm a Sakadagami, I can tell you 3 jhanas, that is first, second, third, but not 4 jhana, and none of the Arupa jhanas are possible to a Sakadagami. It's impossible. He himself would have done 3 jhanas, possible. But has he done beyond the 3 jhanas? No. Okay. Then comes to an Anagami. He can do all the 8 jhanas. In fact, Goenka also puts that in one of that thing what I had shared to both of them, Bobby as well as Janak, is that he can explain, he can teach, he can experience all the 8 jhanas. Okay, and he can do it as many times as he wishes. And Goenka also says you need to get into jhana because now you have crossed it, so you don't have to do this samatha vipassana what I have taught. You can now be on your own. You don't have to really do it. And he writes that generally nobody comes to this stage, so that's the reason we don't teach. Now that you are there, we recommend you to do it. So that's true. And if somebody is an arhat and you know is an arhat, that's it, you have done it. He will take you to arhat. That you need to know. So the second thing, the sutta what I'm going to take is you require a spiritual friend or a dhamma friend basically. Okay, who is a Sotapanna or a Sakadagami or an Anagami or an Arhat, because they know a Riya. The circling is stopped. They know how to stop it. Okay. I'm not asking for testimonial from Bobby or from Janak or whatever about me. It's immaterial. What should happen is that the Dhamma should speak for itself rather than I speaking for myself and saying that I'm this, I'm that. Okay, so I should have done something which I can tell the other person, you try it out, it works this way. And it should be working. If it works, good. Doesn't work, okay, he's not done that. Or he could not get, the other person couldn't get it. Okay, so that's the thing we need to understand. Yes, Bobby, you have a question or you have raised a hand.
Vilashi, I think with many people attended this Goenkaji's course and from other sources that when you are talking about like a Sotapanna can help a Sotapanna and Sakidagami help a Sotapanna Sakidagami. But there are some cases in the suttas and whatever there is people who are not even any stage made other people like Chucho Potilo or something. They made arahants, right?
Tuchcha Potila, you know what? It's not like that. You have misunderstood what Buddha is saying in that, especially in that Theragata. Is like this. Potila is one person who is knowing everything, but he's not implementing it on himself. Okay. So what happens is that anybody coming in touch with Potila, okay, he's able to understand and go further, whereas Potila is having a lot of mana or vanity that look, I'm able to make this person a Sotapanna, that person a Sakadagami, Anagami, Arhata, whatever it is. And then Buddha punctures his ego by saying Tuchcha, meaning you're waste. You have been given so much of opportunity, you couldn't do it. So that makes him feel really inferior because he thought by doing this, whatever he's doing a good service. So he came to know that first you need to release yourself before you can help anyone. Just like in the plane, you have to use oxygen mask yourself before saving another person. So what this Potila was doing is to save the other person at the cost of his thing. So he was put under a 7-year-old Samanera to get his ego completely punctured. And within 7 days, he became an Arhat. So if he didn't know it, and how he could become an Arhat? So he knew it, but he had not applied on it. So that would be a wrong example to take, saying that a Sotapanna or a Sakadagami, Anagami, they might just know it, but doesn't work. No. Now take my own case, Bobby. Now Janak is here and you are also there. Tell me, is it working or not working? If I'm the theoretical person, it wouldn't work a single thing.
It definitely improved my understanding on Dhamma ever since I
No,
met
not
you.
only that, the way the walking meditation we are talking about, the way you need to be doing things, is it working or is it not working? The only two things that will happen, it works or it doesn't work. There's nothing like in between.
It is working. The hindrances are there, So, for example,
That
when
you
you,
leave it, that we will separately address. Even Raju wants to discuss on hindrances. So I think Friday would be the best time to break each other head on hindrances. So that we will take. But
yes, it is working. It is working.
yeah,
We don't have experience something different than something the way.
And also, it looks like whenever you talk, it looks very convincing, and because you are always quoting from the suttas. So there is nothing like it is saying that whatever you are saying, you give some reference on the suttas. So suttas is the ultimate what we have to believe because it is a Buddha's words.
yes.
So yes, yeah.
I'm not quoting from my own thing. I'm not writing a commentary saying that, hey, this is how I experience, you guys experience, blah, blah, nothing. Just bare fact. If it has worked to me in this way, it should work. Be it whether Viren or be it Sheniel or whatever, whoever in this group, it should work. Maybe not to the extent of how much it is working for me, but it should work. Now, as an example, now Sheniel is able to drive and get into jhana, which is good for him. So it's nice. So let him do it. He's enjoying. So he got it. And that's all is main important. How much will he be able to do it? It is his problem. But did he get it than what it was earlier? Yes. That's all what required to be done. As a Dhamma friend, if I could use that Kalyana Mitta. Okay, so that is what is required. So the ending comment on this particular topic is, if a person is not a Sotapanna, he will not be able to make another person Sotapanna no matter how much he tries. He might have good knowledge on the sutta, but if somebody asks, show me how this can be done, he won't be knowing anything. Okay, because he first has to apply on himself. That's what that Potila is. You first apply on yourself. Once you apply, you can be able to explain experience, make other person experience, because you have undergone that pain. You have undergone what obstacles you have got into. So that makes sense. Same thing on the Sakadagami. Same thing on Anagami. Same thing on Arahat. And that is the reason it's called Sotapatti Phala. The initial stage is Sotapatti. There's no other sutta which explains so much on Sotapanna and all that than the Sotapatti Phala, which I already sent it, the same link. So it's not much. It's a very nice one, is that you need to start with a spiritual guide or a friend or Dhamma friend. And then he will tell you which sutta to refer to based upon the faculty type for your faculty. Like in the case of Bobby, Dhiga Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya would be the good option for him. Okay. In the case of maybe Janak, it can be Anguttara Nikaya and a Dhiga Nikaya in a combination. He can look into it and it can help him. So they have to choose, see which one, investigate, talk to the Dhamma friend, and then get into an arrangement to move further. Okay. So like that for each one. So there are 5 faculties and then you have 5 Nikayas to cater to each of the faculty. So after this Dhamma Vichaya, then let me say that you have a spiritual friend and you have this, then the other 2 will start to work, which helps in getting into Sotapatti Phala. You are on the Magga, you are not on Phala. So the next sutta we will take maybe tomorrow is on Kitagiri Sutta, which talks about 7 kind of Arya Puggala. In that, the first 3 we are going to take, that is from the lowest. One is called Saddhanusari, which means just having faith. Second one is Dhammanusari, who has little bit of wisdom. And then the third one is a person Saddha Vimukto, which is a Sotapanna. In fact, many of these suttas what I've sent already has little bit of that. But when we go to that Kitagiri Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya 70, we'll refer back to these suttas, how Buddha explains these 3 people based on their Saddha, Virya, etc. type, and then saying that even if they don't have anything, he can still be a Sotapanna, like that drunkard who the Sakyans come and ask, oh, these days anybody can become a Sotapanna. That's a sutta, what we are going to cross-check with. That means if anybody can become a Sotapanna, that's what's the point, right? And then Buddha says, if sal trees can become Sotapanna even with poorly implementing it, why can't this drunkard? So I leave you with this last comment to rethink. If a drunkard can become a Sotapanna, why can't you? So that will give you 2 answers. Either you agree with sutta or you completely disagree with sutta. Now, if you disagree with sutta, there is no way to go anywhere else because you don't have anything else. But if you agree with sutta and you question the sutta, how guaranteed it is, then that brings you to the first obstacle, visiki ichcha, skeptical doubt. So even if you keep on saying that I have faith in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, you don't have, because you don't have faith in Sangha. You might have faith in Buddha, accepted. You might have faith in Dhamma, but you don't have faith in Sangha. That is an obstacle. Why? Because the suttas are said by whom? Ananda. So you have no faith in Ananda. So what do? I don't know. We can't get Ananda back, saying that, boss, please tell us, how did you hear? Evam me sutam. How did you hear? And tell me one thing, Ananda, how can you recite 84,000 suttas? I don't believe it. And what's the guarantee after the first Buddhist council, any of the suttas wouldn't have got changed? Quite possible. What's the guarantee that after second Buddhist council, it did not get changed? Quite possible. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, that means all suttas are junk. Then what about the Abhidhamma then? It's really an addition. What about Visuddhi Magga? That's another addition. What about Buddha Ghosa's different commentaries? That's a complete edition. Then what about Mahayana? That is serious edition. So then why should I follow Buddha Dhamma Sangha? I will stop from today. Why? I will wait for the next Buddha to appear, which is Maitreya Buddha. At that time, I will be reborn in that realm, and then I will ask the Buddha, boss, the last Gautama, they screwed it up. So now that you have appeared in this world, so you are the only savior for me. What's the guarantee I will be reborn in that sasana or dispensation? So what should I do? Go back to worshipping the gods I was worshipping, because only God can save me. You understand? So I'll go back to the church. Amen. Or I go back to the Hindu gods and say, boss, you are the best. I will put again 1 rupee on your plate and you only save me. Because if I put 100, that pujari will take. I'll put only 1 rupee. That's all we can do. But what's the guarantee? It's said by Ananda. Evam me suttam is not said by Buddha.
Whatever it is, Vilaji, the one thing is that the Vipassana, whatever has been taught, or whether it is been from taken from the Buddha or not, but that gives a benefit here and now.
It
And
is. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no. It's really good. In fact, if you try Ajahns technique, okay, in fact, he has a book, Stillness Flowing Water. It's much simpler than what you do in the Vipassana 10-day, 20-day, 30-day, 45-day, 60-day retreat. It's much simpler, much easier. Okay. Then if you come to Sri Lankan, for the Sotapanna, it's most easiest. It's the question should be asked is, what is my aim? If my aim is complete liberation, I need to have 4 corners. Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arhat. As 4 corners into 2, 8. That is phala, magga phala, magga phala, magga phala, magga phala. Without that, I can't. No matter what tradition I'm following. Because tradition is a tradition. And Buddha didn't say you should have a tradition. Yeah, there are traditions. Okay, fine, great. No issues. No second thoughts on that. I'm not saying, Raju, that we have wasted our time by attending to Goenka courses. No, not at all. It's very good one. And that's a foundation. Now we can construct whatever we want on top of that foundation. It's an unshakable foundation. Very nice. We can take it forward. Let's say I'm following Ajancha. I don't have to change anything. It's there. On that, I will take the Buddha teaching and then reach where I should be reaching. I don't have to do something else because it's already done. I don't have to rewind it. Okay, like that I need to check it out. So you don't have to change anything, Raju or Bobby or anyone here like Ashutosh. He has done so many courses in Goenka. Like Janak was saying, he has done 45 or 60 days course. So I think he would be the most senior person in our group, having done all of the Goenka courses. Okay, that doesn't mean he should hate. No, it's perfect. You keep it like a foundation. Then we have to grow on that. So we need to know that we have reached somewhere. And that's what Buddha talks about. You know that and move forward. Using the technique what you have used. Maybe you have used Ajahn technique or Sayadaw technique or some other technique. It's fair. Absolutely acceptable.
I wanted to ask you, what is that mean of that laughing wisdom and swift wisdom you're talking about?
Viren, what I wanted to say to you is that you have moved the suttas, you have gone further. Let me not go further. I'm just in the Patipanna, the first one. Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sango. Let's finish that completely
Okay.
before we move further. I will take all of the suttas, whatever I've sent. See, our friend Bobby wanted me to do a series. There are 95 videos in Hindi on Sotapanna. And he wanted me to do the similar kind for Australian audiences, like people sitting here. So I told him, yes, I will do it, not an issue. Not the same suttas what I have taken there, because there are around 200 suttas on Sotapanna. If I were to add from all the places, okay, it will be a lifetime achievement award somebody can give me to go through the entire 200 sutta, and in the end somebody says, Vilas ji, I don't think so, I'm still a Sotapanna. Then I don't know, the remaining hairs also would have gone by then. Okay, so I don't think so I need to struggle so much. So let's see where we come. So the first thing I need to know is Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sango. Am I part of the Savaka Sangha? Yes. Is Merin part of Savaka Sangha? Yes. Are their two children part of Savaka Sangha? Yes. Is Janak's family part of Savaka Sangha? Yes. Or other families who are sitting here, including my wife and son? Yes. Because they're supporting. Okay. They might not be doing what I'm doing. It doesn't matter, but they're supporting. Okay. That's Patipanna. Otherwise, by now, my wife would have, and I and my wife would have divorced long time ago. I think same thing would have happened with two other lovers and flowers, which is Merin and Bobby. They would have done the same. They would have walked away from each other's life because it makes no sense. Just think it over. Raju, you also need to think it over, your other half, what she's doing and what she's not doing. And she can also think about the other half, the mad half, whether it is a complete madness or half madness or full madness. So you can check it out and see if there is a support. It means you are in Savaka Sangha. First, you need to accept to that. And then we can proceed further. If I don't even accept to that, then what's the point? Same thing with Viren. His wife is supportive. He's doing whatever he's doing. Right? And then Sheniel, his ex-wife supports. He said in the car yesterday. So there is Savaka Sangha. I might not be agreeing in full, but that sutta talks about that. That's the reason it's called Patipanna Sutta. We need to see for ourselves, is there a support or not? And when you know there is support, I don't know about Ashutosh, how many people he has in his home, but whatever, we need to check. If there is support, you're part of Savaka Sangha. Clear? So we meet tomorrow then on the next program, the next sutta, which connects back to this. Okay, so
Same time?
Same time. So now we are on prime time, unless I go back to Bangalore, and then
Okay.
and then it becomes 8 p.m. your
Okay.
time.
Yeah. 8 p.m. is also fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Good night to everyone, and then catch you tomorrow.